Taurus, you are diving in to a love connection that is prophecy, truth, alignment, and honesty. This is guided by your ancestors, your passed on loved ones, the archangels, whatever you believe in, they're present here. The main card that came out was the angel card, looking down on top of all of this. Now I see someone in the connection looking at their destiny and career. Then I see another person looking at their destiny and love. Two different situations running on the same track, going in different directions too. This gives me what I would call the spectrum of monotropism, which is just a philosophy I have. Feel free to go to hermitology.me, the website, and see all the crazy stuff I do that may or may not make sense to you. But I talk a lot about multifaceted beings, star seeds, light workers, clairsentient abilities, the gifted ones, the spiritualists, how we all work in nuanced and very different ways. And what I see in this reading is the spectrum from left to right. Now in science, that means one thing. In spirituality, that means another. In politics, that means another. In politics, we're talking about the far left and the far right, a lot of tension and war. That's the difference between love and war, peace and love, and war on one side, you know. But in this dynamic, with you, Taurus, today, we're looking at career and a new beginning in career, yet love. I see you looking at a really destined career, but your partner looking at a brand new beginning in love. And the angels guiding this from above. We've also got rarity and luck involved. This is really rare. This is really lucky. This is slowly moving forward. The altitude of this is rising. So your higher self is becoming more consciously aware of the kind of reward this is for you. Once again, I see celebration. I believe that the Taurus reading has already covered celebration. If not, then a masculine is receiving celebration in line with the masculine readings. So go and check that out. If you are a Taurus feminine, you're really focused on this love and your career is on point. But whoever you're dealing with is focused on career. So whether or not you are the career-driven one in this or the love-driven one in this, the other person is who you're dealing with. So feel free to switch the roles around, okay? I've got tongue-tied. I've got the Lenormand deck out to start. For some reason, I've been guided to this deck for you, okay? So let's dive. Unlocking. 33. My card of unlocking. This is also the 8 of diamonds. The key talks about unlocking something that was caged. 43. All suits, referring to a real confusion in the mind. I see someone in the connection is unlocking their true heart's desire, whether it's career or love, whilst the other person is in a maze. The person that you're dealing with or you is really confused about this, okay? So understand someone is enlightened by this love and knows what to do about it, really wise, full of wisdom. The other person is in a maze about the details of all of this, yeah? Yeah. Someone's more thinking about the institution, legal, work, mechanics, the specifics, the details, the fine print, whilst the other person is wrapped up in love and desire and sacrifice and commitment, and actually is a little bit rebellious in this new beginning. Because although they can't see the way forward, they are moving forward nonetheless, and they desire to speak on what they see, whereas the other person is a lot more childlike and they're just sitting there. This is quite funny, the vision I'm getting in my head of this is they're sitting there just watching. In nursery, it's carpet time, and you sit on the carpet and you sit in a circle, or you sit on a specific colour or in a specific position, and you listen to the teacher. And the teacher may tell you a fabulous story, or may do nursery rhymes, or you may do an activity on the whiteboard. And one person in this relationship is that child on the carpet at carpet time. And in my head, I'm getting the idea of a performer coming out. Sometimes we'll get special guests or different teachers to come in and put on a show for the children in a different way. And I'm getting the child in this relationship, or the inner child, is really mesmerized by this. Carpet time can be absolutely amazing if you know how to manage the room full of children, or an absolute disaster because you can't get a grip on it and there's 30 children running amok and you have no control. So it's quite a really nice memory for me as a history in childcare to go that this is a really nice circle time. This is someone's inner child being nourished. This is someone who can't stop watching what's going on and is being taught, is learning about something brand new, and it's a major awakening, and it's a heart chakra awakening as well. It's nourishment, and it's pure, and it's fascinating, and it's fun, and it's just mesmerizing, you know. Like, even I have memories of circle time and carpet time from as early as reception, when I had to have been like 5 or 6 years old, right? Reception in year 1 in the UK, where you're about 5 or 6 years old and you have circle time. I remember the circle time where I showed the class some artwork that my dad made, which was really awkward and controversial the way I showed it, but the memory of letting everyone see how my dad drew art and done stuff was really, really cool. I have circle times where I've read books and shared books with the rest of the group at library time. Like, I have memories. So for some reason, what memories are being triggered for you at this time? Because they seem really nice. I've got loads of memories as well as an adult doing circle time for all the children, you know? So that's amazing as well, and that kind of brings me back to the days of when I'm really high functioning, and how having 50, 60 children in one group, nearly 90 children all sitting in front of you, and you're the only one that can put on a show and manage 90 children to be glued to you. Their attention's on you. Imagine what 90 children are like if you do not have control. Versus being so entertaining that they're glued and are mesmerised by the story or situation. That's what's come into my head, some of my kind of fondest memories of my past career, right? So maybe think about your career and your fondest memories that you carry with you moving forward now, because you are definitely moving towards destiny, you and this person, and I feel like you really should be holding on to the memories and the positives of this. It looks really, really beautiful, and I've just been able to dive into a beautiful memory. So this is why I do readings on the channel. Selfishly enough, it takes me to beautiful places and things that I'm reliving that I wouldn't have otherwise, you know? So what does this person do for you? Where does this person take you? Because you just seem to just go somewhere so melodic, so beautiful, so uplifting, so empowering, so, I want to say mesmerizing, but more than that, translucent, yeah? It's lucidity in the now moment while still being awake, you know? Transcendence in its naturalist form, really. And that also makes me really dive in, and I don't want to hold on to this story too long about me, but I can't help it sometimes, because it takes me back to the days where I used to just put on a show, make up a story in my head, and manage 90 children under the ages of 5 in one giant room. And I guess actually I never really thought about how impossible that is for other people to do, or how mesmerised all the children in the room were at what I was doing. And that was before I knew I was clairvoyant or empathic or understood programming, classical conditioning, psyops, storytelling. I didn't know any of that. So me just telling that story has given me a bit of a tower moment, going, oh my God, even then I was really alchemical, even then I was really transcendent, even then I was really lucid. I managed to create this story in the room and the environment. 90 children under the age of 5 managed by one adult leading the environment, which not many other people could do that. The groups were normally broken into 4, but on crazy days, I would just take all of them, do it all by myself, and I'll just say, you sit there, I'll allocate staff a position in somewhat of a Euclidine. Everyone grab a corner of the Euclidine. We're about to take off on our magic carpet with these 90 kids, and I'm just going to make up some crazy story and get them to do some crazy stuff for like 20 minutes before lunch or after lunch. So the fact that that's just taken me on a deep dive into a memory, and I can reflect on that memory in such a new way. I never looked at my past in that way. There's something significant for you there. You will go and look back at your past and understand how a story like that for you now has alchemical layers, how now has a magical undertow, because I've never analysed the way that I position staff before to be significant. I never really thought about any of that in the way I've just told it to you today, and that's kind of like, wow, I've just gone through awakening in this reading, just to be able to perceive that reality from the past in that way. And then that fills me with pride, and I feel a little bit honoured and quite mature and quite powerful, and like, woo, like it feels like a little victory in my heart right now, you know? And that's there for you. This reading is about that for you, yeah? Because what I'm looking at now is a very interesting story, because the 10 of Cups came out straight away, which was that transcendent moment, that story I just shared with you about me. There's that story for you, okay? But it looks like it's been blocked. Whoever was the overseer and the witnesser of this, they tried to prevent your ascension. You made it to a certain altitude, yeah? And there's laws and regulations on how far different planes can go. I was getting a lot of inference there. I wanted to say fight or flight, but I don't know if that's the right word. Different planes, different aircrafts can travel to different altitudes. Rules and regulations about the level of altitude you can go to. That applies in different areas of life through different psyops and classical conditions, okay? Now, I'm going to use that same example of 90 children in one room with one adult leading the whole group. That altitude is that. Not anyone else was really even allowed to do that or would initiate that. It's not illegal because there's more than enough staff in the room to manage it, but it would be discouraged. The altitude of such an adventure would be too high, because anyone who hasn't got the ability to keep everyone engaged, mayhem in that room with all those children in that space, that's quite dangerous. It's not illegal, there's nothing wrong with it, but you wouldn't really do that. So in the same pursuit for your truth, you've gone through a similar incident and someone's blocked your altitude, because anyone could have came in and said, no, there's too many children in this space, I need you to break down into 2 groups, 3 groups, 4 groups. But then we've got less staff to set up for lunch, then we've got less staff to manage the doors when they're leaving, and there's not enough staff to clean up and set up for the afternoon children, and some children got to go home. There's molecular structures to the rest of the day that are now going to be skewed and really off. Staff are going to go to lunch late, and we've got half of the children going home and a whole new set of children coming in, and we need to set up the lunch area, clean the lunch area, and prepare new activities for the afternoon, reset up the garden as well, and we're down 5 staff for the next 4 hours, every hour on the dot, because they're going in and out for lunch, right? So that's the moleculars of the conversation. That's why I've taken the lead and decided to do a group with me being the spearhead of craziness for 20 minutes to manage the 90 children, so we can benefit from that in every other area of the environment, right? So as I dive into that and keep coming back to you, I just can only hope you're finding the thread that relates to you, because I keep seeing someone blocking your ascent, because whatever you've suggested and proposed similar to me that I'll take the lead with these 90 children with the most powerful staff to manage every corner of the space, and we just go crazy with fun storytelling, mindgasm stuff where everyone takes on a character and becomes this in the story, and they tell the story and I tell the story, and we just have a massive fun story experience, really engaging and thought-provoking and amazing. So you wanted to initiate something amazing is the point, but because you were doing it out of a remit that was familiar, normally we have 4 groups that require 3 staff per group, but then, and that's the status quo, but you're like, then if we do that, then all the other things that need to get done within the next 20 minutes won't be done. The children won't eat on time. No one will be at the door to let the parents in. We won't have new activities. Nothing's gonna move if I don't initiate this shift in perspective and take a risk in this new way, which isn't illegal or breaching anything whatsoever, but you're still taking me somewhere else that's unfamiliar, as this person is saying. But we do it this way. This is how things have been done. But you're shifting because it's compulsory and you see beyond the illusion. This is theory and practice as well. This is a love reading and it's fascinating. Typical Taurus, we're not even in the remits of love at all. We're deep diving into molecular conversations about the mechanics of working and how that's influencing your output and vision of this prophecy in relation to career and love. Really work-focused energy, okay? But in the back of the mind, there's Hierophant. Because I'm doing this for the betterment. I'm going to use my example all the way through this reading. I'm doing this for the betterment of the team. Because everyone's going to go to lunch late. The activities, if we don't have enough time to set up really stimulating activities, one of our core values is a enabling environment, yeah? So we need we have children with special needs as well, so we need different things in the environment like sand, glitter, water tray, Play-Doh. They're different forms of stimuli. They improve sensorial touch, smell. If we don't do it well enough, the Play-Doh is going to be dry and shitty. No one's going to play with it. It's not going to have any smell or colour to it. The sand tray is going to be full of dirt from the morning session. The water tray is going to be full of germs if it's not cleaned and prepared. The garden is not risk assessed yet. We've got to make sure someone's doing head count and register to make sure all the children are in the building. That's safeguarding and protection. Do you see how we're diving deep from just one experience of love and fun and storytelling and everyone involved? But wait, there's management and there's obligation, risk, danger, responsibility everywhere else. And some people don't have the oversight of this. So there we go. It's like, now I want to talk about the oversight in love, yeah? There's been some kind of oversight in love, and it appears that although that there is this destined connection here, it's talking to me about the inability to express how widespread that oversight is, and it's someone not acknowledging that every step up the ladder is also a new degree. Once again, that altitude. You're climbing, yeah? You're climbing, we are climbing at something feet. We are climbing. The climb is on. In this love, which is clearly coming from a prophetic side, if you saw the spread of this card, right, I'm quite selfish because I'm lazy. It takes a whole other element for me to share the images of this, so we're not going to do it on the channel. We're going to stay proactive and focus on the listening of this. But let me tell you, I have got a bow and arrow style synchronicity between 2 eyes in the deck. The eyes emoji in tarot, there's when you have a heart and it's got arrows through it coming out either end, that's exactly how the eyes are positioned. That's exactly how the crystal ball is positioned. So this reading is rich in 2 people seeing clearly the prophecy of this, because the two eyes are then angled towards the crystal ball, which suggests both of you are highly intuitive, highly claircognizant, or highly intellectual, highly clairvoyant. Yeah, the clear senses in this are high. Your higher selves are climbing in this connection, and as a result of that, every step up the ladder, every time your foot gets to another part of the ladder, you see more. You're seeing more and more and more, and this is flattering. One of you guys, it's beautiful, or both of you guys. There's this flattering energy around a feminine is what I see, and someone in awe of this, yeah, and someone being rewarded for this as well. But there is still moon energy, so there's this dominance of the feminine principle, the power of the feminine. Ascension is unfathomable here. This could be husband and wife, a connection that's married, because I'm not looking at anything in this connection that is new or foreign or a big rush or shift. It could be together for years and years and years, and that's why it's like this for you, right? Because you're both looking in different directions, you both see the prophecy. It's like you know what you're doing in this, right? But we've had a whole story about a very different kind of management skill, yeah? So this gives me husband and wife potentially that have been married for years, that just go about life and do what they do without having all that glorious over the top love ideologies. Maybe the feminine is more tethered to that ideology of love and the masculine isn't. But it does give a little bit of, maybe you guys haven't really focused on the loving side of your relationship and just focused on the goings on. Like, it gives me, you've long been out of honeymoon phase, so you could have been together like 7 years already, you know? There is 5 of Pentacles showing up with Ace of Wands, so yeah, it does talk to me about trying to get that passion back in your relationship, yeah? 6 of Cups, yeah, you could have been together for so many years. 3 of Swords coming out at the front of that. You've been through so much together already in life that sometimes it is easier to just make the same old choices that you've made. So that example I gave you about someone blocking your ascent and moving up, maybe it is this partner of yours, this husband or wife. There is something from the past here that kind of keep things staying on the same route. You're committed to each other, that's for sure. Yeah, there's no doubt in the commitment that you have for each other. It's there, and it never seems to be a burden because you know how to make the right choices to get out of it, and you've held on to each other for such a long time through ups and downs that it is really clear. Your communication could be lacking here, because if you or your lover have a new beginning, right, that you both already see, but there's aspects of it that you're not talking about because you know it will really change the status quo in your lives. Like, it's like your wife or your husband really knowing that this is going to change us forever. This is going to change the way we do things. This means we're going to have more money. This means we're going to have less money. This means we're going to have to move. This means, like, that we're going to have to think about the kids. We're going to have to move the kids. Or that means we're going to have a bigger family. We're going to have more kids. Do you get what I mean? Like, there's this shift from status quo to a new way of being in a connection. And yeah, you've been together. You're old souls, I get. Yeah? So you just know what, like, some relationships, right? And this is the best way for me to put it. Some relationships, which potentially are some of the best relationships that are there, you've been in them for years, you're stable and grounded, so it's not all honeymoon lovey-dovey phase, but the love's cemented. You chose each other, you married and settled down. You may not even be married here, but the ideology of that's the missus, that's the husband, that's the love of my life, that's my partner, right? So either way, this is your person, and you both know that, and you've been through a lot of shit together with each other for years already, I would assume, right? So you know that this is kind of it for you, like in regards to the feeling and the connection. But there is a new spark that either one of you want to initiate in the connection, which is the difference between starting again and having this whole new Ace of Wands energy, where you have a passionate new beginning that shifts your lives in new ways, and you get honeymoon phase back. Not a lot of people get honeymoon phase back, and to be honest, not a lot of people have relationships like this. This is a true, pure, loving connection. Loads of people are married and together and never really love each other, never even like each other. Some people don't even like each other, but they tell each other they love each other. And it's like, do you lot see each other for real? Like, some people in relationships are not even friends. They wouldn't be friends. They're not best friends. In this kind of connection, which is a testament and a real guide to the future. So you should probably be one of those people that talks up and uses your relationship to inspire others and motivate others in connections, because the world lacks love, and it's really, really depressing as well, just as a reader at least, to see and do readings with so many people from all around the world on and offline, and just see how unfulfilled and upset people are sometimes in romantic dynamics. And we've been together for 12 years and we've separated a few times, but we've just made it work. We stuck together. There's no love in this marriage, but we stayed together for the kids. I'm going through a lot of stuff in my career, and I never talk about it to my wife, so she doesn't know, and as a result our relationship's a stalemate. Or I'm the one that stays at home, they're the one that goes to work, and our dynamic is like that. There is no connection, there is no love, there is no higher vibration. And that's the psyop of life. That's what I can't stand. That's what just kind of lets me like have a negative take on relationships a lot of the time, and what makes me start going into muggle conversations about how we just start taking on muggle ideologies in relationships and end up being NPCs and programmed to a certain way of, oh, do you know what, I have to be with someone by the time I'm 30? Okay, I'm 29, I've got 3 months left, I'm gonna go to the bar, there's 3 women here, let me see how it goes, fine, I'm gonna choose this one, oh, I'm gonna get married, I'm gonna get a mortgage, we're gonna have a kid, and oh, this is it. Locked in. I've heard people tell me, I don't really love this person, they're not really that good looking, they're not really my cup of tea really, but I've learned through other men I know that sometimes you can't really expect that special kind of love, and you just have to go for what you can find, and you just have to be a little bit more considerate. But yeah, she wasn't my ideal, and to me, I just nod and smile and get on with my day. But to me, especially as a feminine, I've gone, oh hell no. If I had a man who spoke about me like that, as that woman, and I never knew that my man actually felt that way about me, like he chose me. He didn't really want me, but he didn't think he would find anything else, and it was about time he settled down in line with the psyop he was in, so I got a chance. Ew. Because I actually am that person that believes in that Disney fairy tale Cinderella kind of love, and I'm waiting for my glass slipper to fit on my feet, and I do believe in being with the right one instead of just being with anyone for the sake of it, just for the career, for the money, for the mortgage, for the kids, for the family. I would rather have no kids in this lifetime than have kids in a loveless marriage or a toxic relationship. I want the epitome of true love that I have seen exist in my lineage. And I do want that for myself. And if I don't believe I'm going to have it with the person that I'm with, I'm not going to settle down and sacrifice. I'm going to marry this person, but that's just because I kind of need to take it to the next level. But they don't do it for me. Then that means the rest of your life you're going to be with someone who doesn't really do it for you. Then you're going to have kids with someone who doesn't really do it for you. You're going to devote your life for the rest of your life to something that doesn't really do it for you. No. And that's not who you are. And that's not who this person is. The altitude of your love have constantly been blocked by each other and your desire to remain in the psyop, or blocked by external factors. I think it's a bit of both. Because I think you will succumb to this partner of yours and they will succumb to you, just so you don't rock the foundations of your love, because you've had each other for so many years in such a really stable, grounded connection that it will be silly to disturb that. And you know what's more beautiful about this is when you really love someone, you don't want to hurt them. You don't want to say anything that's going to offend them, and you let things slide and you let things go. And it's not even in a toxic way. It's like, I love you enough to not create a rupture in that. Let's not create any instability in our lives, because I love you. Whatever you choose, I'm going to love you for it. You're my wife or my husband, it's going to be fine either way. So that's what you go for. But I do think that you get a renewed sense of self. You could be renewing your vows as well in a relationship. So this could be I'm going to say reunion, but I meant like wedding vows, renewing your vows, right? Getting married again. Because I kind of see whatever you choose, there's something you want. You're looking in a different direction though. There's something that I want to say she wants, because I'm looking at masculine and feminine energy, and it looks like this is more masculine energy, but once again, flip it and reverse it, right? But male and female, in this connection, you both want things that you're not speaking outwardly entirely about, because you don't want to take that next step up the ladder without this person really knowing about it. But you don't want to rock what they've got going on. So you've got your own lives and your own careers and your own way of doing things, and you don't want it to clash. So you're happy to stay where you are so it doesn't clash. And so is this person. But the moment that you tell each other what you see from your different scopes in life is the moment it kind of prevents this stagnancy if you're dealing with hangman energy in your life at this time. And it awakens you both to what you're destined for, and it only reaffirms your commitment. I do see wedding renewal, actually. Four of Wands, and the Justice card right here at the bottom of the deck. So that is real justice in this commitment. This commitment is Three of Cups. It looks like a major celebration. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to leave this reading with saying, why not go and renew your wedding vows? Or take this relationship to a next level. This could even be a couple that never actually got married, but you've been together for 30 years and it is what it is. You never decided to go all the way and actually get married. So maybe that's the question. Maybe you pop the question after 30 years, you know? But there's a new beginning, a new lease of life. I see, let me know how this works out for you. Feel free to share more in the comments. But I see a Taurus going into honeymoon phase. After years of being someone, that's not something you often get back, which suggests that both of you have awakened to a whole new sense of self. So you're a new version of you, they're a new version of you. I don't think you've come back together with your new identities, your new ascent, because one of you's been off, one of you could have been traveling for business, one of you could have been working on projects that's kept you really, really tied up, while the other person has been working on their projects as well, right? And one feels a lot more self-love, self-care. Other one seems like a lot more self-development and self-driven, right? So either way, like I told you when I came into the reading, didn't I, about that left and right on the spectrum, seems like you cover a lot of each other's bases through polarity and difference. And that comes together really nicely when you meet and so many words in my mind, and I'm like, really? You meet and I get canoodle, but I don't mean it that way, because I'm getting all of these official words as well. So it's kind of like, I'm getting like a round table, and then in my head I'm getting like Congress. It's like coming together in unity. I'm going right back to that circle time. So I'm going to end with the circle time, like I'm back doing my job 7, 8, 9 years ago, and we're going to say, at the end of circle time, we all stand up and we go somewhere. Some children go to wash their hands for lunch. Some children go and get their coats and bags to go home. Some people go outside for playtime. I mean, there's a lot happens. We get circle time going for a reason, and then we end it for another reason. So where do you go after this ascension, after this next step on the ladder, after you've circled this airspace and took in the new levels of altitude? Where are you all heading off to? What have you seen and discovered, and what happens next, right? It's about the communication of all of that in really healthy ways with someone that you've been with for years, that you love to pieces, who is your other, and you're both aware of that. So keep powering forward in the name of love, and revitalize it in any way you can, because that is where your prosperity lies. Well done, Taurus. Love and light.